In newspaper reports today that the leader of Essex County Council may be prosecuted over his parliamentary expenses. Lord Hanningfield is one of several MPs and peers whose claims for expenses have been investigated. A spokeswoman dismissed the reports as speculation. Two holidaymakers from Essex said today there was nothing they could have done to prevent the death of a teenager in Cyprus. The cousins were in a car with their uncle when it hit a 19-year-old. A court later convicted them of manslaughter in their absence.
Michael Binnington and Luke Atkinson are waiting to find out if the courts will let them serve their jail sentence in the UK. Facing custody soon and looking back on their holiday, they both maintain they were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
You know, we were working really hard to save up for it and really looking forward to just chilling out and having a good holiday with the family.
What were you doing that evening? How did the situation escalate?
We was in a bar, and our younger cousins, they were sort of 17 and 18-year-old girls, we were looking after them, started to get harassed by some local Cypriot men. It ended up turning into a row which resulted in us being removed from the nightclub.
There was so many of them. I mean, you've got to remember as well, me and Michael had been drinking a lot. You know, we'd, in the back of the car, didn't really know what was going on.
I didn't think stopping was an option because we knew who was chasing us, we knew they had weapons, we'd seen one of them had a knife, we didn't know what they were going to do, so stopping wasn't an option. Our only aim from start to finish of the whole incident was to get away from them.
Do you have any regrets from the holiday? Is there anything you wish that you'd done differently or said differently?
From the original incident in the nightclub, it was pretty much unavoidable. We left the scene. They followed us, we got in the cars, they followed us. It really was an unavoidable accident. It was just bad luck for everyone involved.
The cousins are now waiting for another court hearing to find out if they'll avoid having to return to Belgravia police station to be extradited. Felicity Simper, BBC Look East.
Surgeons at Papworth Hospital have been marking a milestone in a groundbreaking treatment for patients with blood clots on their lungs. The procedure removes the inner lining of arteries in the lung, avoiding the need for a transplant. The hospital in Cambridgeshire has just completed its 500th procedure. There could soon be some good news for rail passengers on the crowded line out of Liverpool Street into East Anglia. Network Rail wants to build a new link near Ipswich so that freight trains from Felixstowe can reach the Midlands without going via London.
At the port of Felixstowe today, cranes were busy loading containers onto the railway. 28% of the port's traffic goes by rail. Most is bound for key markets in the Midlands, the North West and Scotland.
But when the freight arrives here in Ipswich, hardly any of it starts its journey cross-country. The vast majority is forced south on busy lines towards London.
This is the route taken by 24 container trains each day, from Felixstowe onto the main line to London. But now Network Rail is spending £35 million building a new link at Ipswich. It will allow trains direct access to the cross-country route via Bury St Edmunds to the Midlands. Freightliner, which operates the majority of freight trains, said today, "We are very pleased. At the moment we're limited to 36 containers per train. In the future we will be able to operate longer trains." Network Rail says it plans to apply for planning permission next year. Richard Daniel, BBC Look East, Ipswich.
That's it. Let's go back to Susie now, who's in Cambridge.
Yes, welcome back to King's College in Cambridge. We're in the dining hall where today the Queen had her lunch. I think you've heard some of the menu. Delicious organic salmon and artichoke, Cambridge reared red pole, local produce. Let's go and meet the man who's responsible for that menu, because what a tough task when you're asked to cook for the Queen. This is Jason Waterfield. Jason, first of all, when did you hear that you were going to have to cook this meal?
Probably about 3 months ago.
And have you been preparing? How did you know what to cook? Did you get any advice or guidance, like the Queen doesn't do Brussels sprouts or anything like that?
No, not at all. Actually, it's pretty open. We had the opportunity to be quite creative. But by the same token, there's sort of three crucial elements, really, when you're planning a menu like this, particularly at this sort of level. Logistics is very important. The quality of the food clearly is imperative. And also to try and get some local produce into the menu and show off Cambridge.
And so how nervous were you actually when the day came this morning?
Fairly nervous, yes, but of course at the same time everybody was very excited. The team were really fired up, really appreciate the opportunity really to cook for the Queen. It's a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity for most.
And then you were actually given the opportunity to meet the Queen and Prince Philip, and I think you were standing in this very spot.
I was standing right here. It was absolutely amazing, yes. It was a great honour and a privilege. Enjoyed it very much.
Did either of them mention the food?
Not at that stage, no, they didn't.
But they ate it. They had the clean plates, I hope.
Definitely, they had the clean plates, and I think all the guests were very happy with the meal. We were all very happy with the meal, so it's a good indication.
And the students that are heartily tucking in there at the moment aren't eating organic salmon and artichoke, I take it?
They certainly aren't, no, but they do have opportunities to dine very well at King's with formal halls and stuff, so we're equally as creative, to be fair, on formal halls and dining and creating menus for the students for their special evenings.
Jason, really well done today, and thank you very much for talking to us. And you're going to have a good, well-earned rest, I should think. Today's royal visit actually began at 11 o'clock this morning when the Queen went to Ely Cathedral. Ely Cathedral, known as the Ship of the Fens, is actually celebrating its 900th anniversary, and Mike Cartwright was among the crowds.
They carried out final security checks in the cathedral grounds this morning, but in the flat of the Fens there was little protection from the wind today. Several hundred queued in their finery to go inside. Ladies, time to hold on to your hat.
It's already blown off. It went right over somebody's wall.
Right. Nice. Have you made a special effort?
I have indeed. It's out of respect to our monarch.
Meanwhile, behind the barriers, they began to gather early.
I've never seen her before.
Is that exciting?
Yeah, it was in the papers a couple of weeks ago, and since then I've been thinking, right, I've got to get down here early and get to the front here and hopefully get some great pictures.
A quick rendition from pupils from King's School, Ely.
God save our gracious Queen.
And then, first to arrive, the Duke of Edinburgh. Minutes later, tumultuous applause. And out stepped Her Majesty. Sometimes even the Queen was at the mercy of the elements. Almost 1,000 people waited inside the cathedral to be with the Queen and Prince Philip for a special service led by the Bishop of Ely. The royal visit was part of the celebrations for the Diocese of Ely's 900th birthday.
Well, it is really wonderful, I must say, to be here for the 900th year, to be here to welcome these dignitaries who've come, to be here to welcome the Queen. It is wonderful.
The crowd waited patiently, the Queen emerged, more cheers, and then Her Majesty left. The visit was less than an hour, so was it all worth it?
I think it's kind of like a really big privilege to seeing Prince Philip and the Queen, because it's quite... it was a long wait that we had to do, but it's still really good.
She was at the opening of the Queen's speech yesterday. She's been at the Cenotaph, she's been everywhere you can imagine. She's always wonderful.
Yes, they were left, all aflutter. Mike Cartwright, BBC Look East, Ely.